Welcome to Wrangler Xtreme Bronx Chute Talk. I am down here in Chute, New South Wales, down at the Pierce family property with rodeo royalty, I must say. We've got Brad and Jim here, and this interview's definitely been a long time coming. We've wanted to sit down with you both and have a bit of a chat about the Pierce rodeo family history. I know there's a lot involved with not just you both, but also Jim, your father. So thank you for taking the time to have a chat to us today.
Thank you very much, Dallas. It's a pleasure to be on this, and look forward to the questions coming in and seeing if we can get a few answered for you.
Amazing. So, Jim, I might start with you. I know rodeo in your family and the Pierce family hasn't just started with you, but you with your father, Johnny. Can you tell me a little bit about Johnny? I know he's a very successful cowboy competing in the arena, but how did he first get started in rodeo?
Well, probably with the grandfather. He started a lot of rodeos for after the war benefit rodeos for the returned soldiers and that. And he started like putting bucking horses together and started a lot of the rodeos, like that's probably like Tumbarumba and Kyabram, Chute, not Chute, like Cudgewell, Tallangatta and that. When they started putting bucking horses together, and there's always a few cowboys staying here, and Dad started riding there, and I just progressed from there, just mainly trying bucking horses out here.
Talking about your early career, can you talk to me about what it was like to rodeo back then when you first started?
Well, when I first started, like we never had. We used to use the committee gear, AWRA used to have a gear counsellor, and they'd send saddles and riggings and stuff around the rodeos. So for the first bit. Yeah, I just used to get on in a committee saddle, and they weren't probably the flashiest saddle. Then I bought this old bronc riding saddle for $80, and I thought that was, the Rolls Royce bronc riding saddles, and it was after them old committee saddles. But
so, for those that don't know, what was the committee saddle?
It was it was the association saddle. I think they were old Robin Yates saddles, and some early saddles they sent over from the States and that when the sort of international saddle came in, and I'd never ridden an international saddle. I could ride good in a stock saddle and that, and it was completely different. And I'd done some pretty horrible rides early on.
So you're a multi-generational cowboy. What made you really want to follow in your grandfather and your father's footsteps?
I guess once you're bought into this industry, like it's something that it just flows on with you. It's all I've known since I was a kid. We played a little bit of football and done a little bit of other horse sports and that, but I think rodeo was always going to be what it was. Well, I do remember going to a rodeo and I was riding junior steers, and my older brother Jaden was getting on second divvy bulls, and I just remember them bulls running in the chutes and thinking, geez, I hate the day I turned 16. So I break out of the juniors, I have to get on these things. Like, I did not want a bar of it. And then I guess once you get on a few and you get going, it just becomes what you do. And I don't know, it's just as Dad said before, like every time you're around people, that's all they talk around here is rodeo and that sort of thing. So that sort of gets ingrained into you from a very young age.
It's funny that you talk about not looking forward to being 16 and getting on those, but 2 years later you got a college scholarship to rodeo in Texas. What helped you make that decision to go over there and rodeo in America?
I never really thought about it too much, to tell you the truth. I got a phone call one day and from Greg Rhodes, the coach at Snyder, and it was a bit of a shock really, because I always kind of thought I would go over, but I didn't really plan anything. It sort of just happened, and then packed up just after my 18th birthday and headed out over there, and I really didn't know what I was getting into, or I probably didn't know as much about the States as what I should have before I went, but I just sort of loaded up and headed out.
And can you tell me a little bit about those 5 years when you were rodeoing in America and the difference rodeo has in America to what it is here?
Well, I guess it was the main difference. Like the professionalism and the money that it was over there. It's a it's a thing where you're kind of the guys I thought that were over there that are going good. They're celebrities. Like it's a pretty cool thing to be in around them, especially growing up. I knew a few guys, and then you get going and you're riding against them. It's pretty weird feeling, but I guess I went over there to college, and I didn't pro rodeo over there for the first 3 months. I just poked around and done some open rodeos and got the feel of it, I guess. And then I went back over and bought my permit in 2006, I reckon. And it didn't take me very long. I filled my permit and then rodeoed on that. And then 2007 was my rookie year. I was fortunate enough to win the rookie all round and the rookie bull riding for the PRCA. Same thing, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was just riding, so that sort of made it easier, I think. Once I worked out what I was doing, I never could win much.
Now, the horses, as you've said, Jim, are getting better as the years go on, and the breeding is becoming a lot more, the genetics and the breeding coming a lot more targeted. Do you think, and Brad, tell me what you think in terms of as the horses get better, the cowboys are forced to step up and match those horses? Yeah,
that's right. I can sort of speak on my behalf there when COVID came out and a few injuries and whatever, and it took us, we weren't rodeoing for 12 months and the horses weren't getting bucked, and it's taken us a little while to get up and going. Well, it did me anyway, I know. And I think the horses are the same. They've actually back into their groove, and they're getting conditioned and they're carded, and it's all happening. It's definitely it. Like, I went to Barraba the other day, and there was probably 3 or 4 rides there that could have easily won at any stop along the way. And there was comments on a lot of from the crowd about how good the actual bronc riding was at the event. And I think the more it flows on like that, the better the horses are, the better the cowboys ride, and vice versa. The better the cowboys ride, the better the horses will buck for them. So.
Yeah, and Jim, tell me what you think about that and how you've watched both the, not just the horses get better, but the cowboys as well.
Well, I think there's three things you need to be, if you're going to be successful, like as a bronc rider. You've got to have the want and the ticker, but you've got to have the stock and you've got to have the competition. And if you're getting on bucking horses and you've got somebody that's pushing you a bit, you'll lift your game and you'll ride that bit better. And the way I see it, there's not 4 or 5 horses there to draw. There's 15 horses there, like, that you're going to get a check on. So all the ingredients are there to do it, and then it'll happen.
Yeah, well, as we see, Xtreme Broncs has, I think, in my opinion, taking rodeo to a new level. And we have Xtreme Broncs coming up very shortly down here at the Man from Snowy River Festival. So this interview is very timely as we move into the Corryong Wrangler Xtreme Broncs. Jim, I know you've been involved with the Man from Snowy River since the very beginning. Can you tell me how you first got involved and how you've watched it evolve since then?
When they first started, there was a promoter by the name of Jonathan King. He sort of got the idea rolling, and I just had a meeting at the pub, and I finished up, with the supplying horses probably for the Brumby catch and and lining horses up for the bronc ride part of it. And I've sort of done that till the boys sort of took over, and this year I took the packing on for something different. But the Xtreme Broncs at Corryong, it's going to be awesome. It's a perfect venue. It's got everything going for it. No, I reckon it'll be a top show.
Definitely. I know when a lot of people have competed at Corryong in the past, when the rodeo's on there, they say the crowd is like no other, and the atmosphere will be certainly electric. Brad, can you tell me, what does it mean to Xtreme Broncs to have the event coming down here to the Man from Snowy River?
Well, I guess moving forward to have the events at the right places, and I've obviously been to the rodeo there for a lot of years and whatnot, and you're right, the crowd there they'll cheer anything on, and which is good. But to have the Xtreme Broncs involved with the Man from Snowy River is only going to promote the Xtreme Broncs and the Man from Snowy River hand in hand of working together and hopefully making it bigger and better and keep moving forward with both events.
And just touching on Xtreme Broncs, and to wrap up, what are you hoping the future of Xtreme Broncs, but not just Xtreme Broncs, rodeo in Australia is going to look like in the next, 5 to 10 years?
Well, hopefully, as it gets going, everyone should have a bit of a goal they work towards. But definitely the prize money that has already happened through the Xtreme Broncs, I believe, has flowed on into rodeo with committees putting up more money and stuff like that, which for us bronc riders is, in the last 2 years, the amount of money that can be won in Australia now has never been seen before. So that's a good thing. But just we just try and work on keeping it. The Xtreme Bronx was founded by the Cowboys for the Cowboys, so pretty much whatever the bronc riders want to do, if they want to ride for money and if they want to get on good horses, well, that's what we got to bring to them. So that's the way I see it, and I believe the rodeo industry as well is, benefits from. I believe it benefits from what we're doing and what we're trying to push forward as a professional show that makes more money, good bucking horses, better promo, better coverage for rodeo. I can't see the sport going backwards in the next 4 or 5 years anyway. It's a pretty positive outlook on it.